Oh, let's just breathe that in. Yes. Don't give up, y'all. Don't give up. I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. Who knows that's the truth? Anybody in here know that is the truth? Don't give up now, y'all. Don't give up now. Yes, 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 yes. Come too far from where I started from. We used to sing that song when I was a little girl. That will always be somebody's testimony. Yes, Roxanne. Yes, they will get up and they would sing that song, Reverend Donna Marie. Yes, 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 yes. So that's the Mary Mary version of it. But the lyrics, y'all, the lyrics are deep, are deep. And so this is what I invite us to enter into June with this knowingness, that we've come too far from where we started from. Nobody told us that the road was going to be easy, but don't believe that God has brought us this far to leave us. We are in communion with that which is within us, and it can never leave us no matter what. No matter what. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, no matter what we don't do, no matter how much we mess up, no matter what, God will never leave us. Love will never leave you, no matter what. So don't give up. Don't give up. So we are in our communion, our commencement with communion. That is our theme for June. And it's inspired by what's going on in my life right now. You all know that my girls, I have twin girls, and they are graduating from high school in a couple of weeks. And graduation is a commencement. It is a commencement ceremony. It is a ritual, right? It's not something that is to be taken lightly. And so I want to start us with some definitions. So the definition of commencement is a beginning or start. It's also a ceremony in which degrees or diplomas are conferred on graduating students. The word commencement has its roots in a Latin word that means beginning. Now, you may not think that that would be the case when it's a graduation, that commencement would mean beginning, but you'll just stay with me. Communion, the definition of communion. So those of us who are Christians, who were raised Christian or may have been exposed to Christianity in some way, shape, or form, you may be familiar with communion as a Christian sacrament. But Christians don't have um, Christians don't have a hold exclusively on communion, y'all. Can I just say that? So we each are in communion. Communion means an act or instance of sharing. The origin of the word comes from a Latin word that means mutual participation. Mutual participation. So let's hold on to those two things: commencement as beginning and communion as mutual participation. So we know already that if it's mutual participation, that we're not alone, right? We're not alone. So And graduating, there's a commencement or a beginning of a communion or act of sharing that requires mutual participation. Who has ever gone to a graduation and nobody was there but the person graduating? Doesn't happen, because there needs to be mutual participation, right? Mutual participation. So I submit to you that in our day-to-day living, there is mutual participation between you and God, between you and spirit, between you and love, between you and the law, between you and your soul. We are not in this alone. There is a mutual participation. So oftentimes, as I said, we regard graduating as an ending, and it is. It is an ending to something. For my girls, it is an ending of high school for them. But we also know that in every ending, there is a beginning. Yes? And so philosopher Seneca said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. So my girls began high school. That was a beginning. Now they're graduating. That graduating is the beginning's end. It is the end of that beginning. Yes? So they're about to cross over a threshold when they graduate. The ending of one sacred shift. And that's what I see this as for them. They are making a sacred shift. And that sacred shift invites the beginning of a new sacred shift as they cross over this threshold that signifies the end of that beginning. And we could think of a threshold not just as a place, not just something that we do, but it is a passage. It is a place of presence. So the threshold moments that we experience are invitations for us. They're not interruptions. They're invitations for us to continue to move forward. Don't give up now. So a new job, a move, an end of a relationship, retirement, even illness, a spiritual awakening. All of these things are not random events that are happening to you. They are happening for you. And they signify a shift, a sacred shift that is happening through you. They are, if you will, portals from your soul. These thresholds are. So to cross a threshold and honoring the sacred shift that is occurring for you, I would advise that we enter into those shifts, that we cross those thresholds in communion with the divine and mutual participation. Because my girls are not the same as they were when they first entered high school. And I would say that you're probably not the same person you were when you first began your journey. So this shift is not just a shift in their life, it's a revelation of their being. They are evolving and they are unfolding into more of who they are. They are in communion with their divine self. And so too are each and every one of us. So as we honor the sacred shifts that occur on this spiritual journey, as you honor the thresholds as sacred invitations to your evolving and unfolding into more of who you are, You are in communion with your divine self, and you are in mutual participation with God. Don't give up now. So to commune is to do so in union, right? The definition is right in the word communion, union with the divine. So in our teachings, we affirm that we are never separate from God. Never. Even when we think we are not. Even if we believe we are not. We are not separate from God. So this means that every new threshold that we cross is not a solo venture. Now, many of you have known me for a long time, and one of the most challenging things that I have is asking for help. And I'll give you a quick example. Aria's prom was Friday, and her boyfriend's parents and her boyfriend came over a little earlier than I anticipated. And I was in the midst of decorating. And so when his parents came in, they went upstairs to get dressed. Aria and her boyfriend went upstairs to get dressed in separate rooms, y'all, in separate rooms. I'm that mom. Close the door. We're gonna lock this door. Yeah, all that. I'm that one. And so when I came back downstairs after getting them situated, I went back to hanging up the decorations. And her boyfriend's father said, "Do you need help?" And I immediately said, "No." Now, I'm struggling here. I'm on a ladder. I'm like trying to nail and hold and keep my balance. And he's like, "Do you need help?" And I immediately said, "No." Then I said, "Wait a minute, Melissa. You are not on a solo adventure here, right? This is not a solo experience that you are having." So then I said to him, "You know what? I do need help. I so appreciate it." And he said, "I got it." And so then him and my husband wind up doing the whole thing. Right? We don't have to do it all. We don't have to do it all. So we are always in co-creation with God. And who is God? God is each and every one of us. God asks us. God asks us. So we are co-creating together. We are co-creating with the God within us. Ernest Holmes writes in the Science of Mind text that there is vitality in our communion with the infinite, which is productive of the highest good. You want the highest good in your life? Accept help, Rev Melissa. You want the highest good in your life? Recognize that this is not a solo venture, this thing called life. There is mutual participation. So this life is a journey, y'all. It's a journey of sacred shifts. And each of these shifts holds a threshold for us that we get to cross. So some of the shifts we can see: a new job, a new relationship, a graduation. But there are other shifts that occur. And I submit that it is the shift, these are the shifts that happen first. Those eternal shifts, those shifts in perception, those shifts in our hearts, shifts in our beliefs, shifts in our consciousness, shifts in answering the call for a deeper relationship with the presence that is always present, a deeper commitment in our spiritual communion with the divine. In our Science of Mind teachings, we understand that spirit is never absent from any part of our life. Spirit is engaged in all aspects of our lives. We can never ask God for help and God say, well, nope, can't help you with that one. That's not my department. No, that's not part of my job description. Can you imagine? There's no aspect of our lives where we are alone, unless we believe it. But in reality, we're still not. We're still not. So these sacred thresholds that we cross are moments for us to become more conscious of what Spirit is birthing within us. They are not just simple life changes. They are not just something ending and something else beginning. The invitation is to hold it all as sacred, to honor it, to see it as part of your sacred assignment. I love the verse in the Bible, in the book of Isaiah 43:19. It says, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Do you not perceive the new thing that God is doing through you? Do you not perceive it? It has sprung up. When we cross that threshold, when we make that sacred shift, something is springing forth, a new thing that is ours to be and to do. Our communion with God invites a new thing to be conceived and delivered through and as you. However, some of us, y'all, not any of us here at Rockland CSL, it's the other folks. They don't want to step over the threshold. Or if they do step over the threshold, they're like, never seen this before. This must be something new. Let me get back over there on the other side of that threshold where I came from. But we keep moving forward, right? We move forward because we know that we are in communion with God. And so just as God was with us on that side of the threshold, God is with us on the other side of the threshold, doing a new thing. A new thing. Every day is new. So we know God likes new things. So a new thing through and as us. We think we're in charge, y'all. We ain't in charge. We think we're in control. We are not in control. We are in a mutual participation with the divine to work through and as us. So that is a lesson that I continually learn for myself. Because oftentimes, y'all, I think I am in control of all the things and all their things and all their things, right? But guess what? I'm not. I'm not. So when I recognize that, oh, he just asked me for help, and out of habit, I said no. Out of habit, I said no. So it is just a metaphor for understanding that I don't need to base everything on my own understanding. As a matter of fact, it's better that I don't. Because what does Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6 tell us? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to God, and God will make your paths straight. Trust in God. Trusting in God is an extension of trusting in yourself. Trust yourself. Trust God. Lean on God's understanding. Lean on the wisdom that resides within you. Ask for guidance. And then submit, let it go, release it, surrender it. And God will make your paths straight. So I ask you all, what are you graduating from? What thresholds are you approaching in your life? What sacred shifts are inviting you to go deeper in your communion with the divine? Are you willing to go within and stay for a while instead of passing through, doing these drive-by spiritual practices? No. No. Feel the presence that is always present. You need to stay for a while. Just linger there. So the next threshold that my girls will be crossing will be to college. Spelman College for Aria and Tuskegee University for Zola. And with each of our themes, we have a company universal principle and spiritual practice. And so our spiritual practice for June is the law of mental equivalent. And our spiritual practice is imagination. So in August, Aria and Zola will be experiencing the sacred shift when they cross the threshold of the schools of their first choice, y'all. They practice the law of mental equivalent. Now, they don't know the term, but they know it. Some of us know the term and don't know it. So they practice this law of mental equivalent. Both of them. This is my first choice. This is where I want to go. And when we visited those schools, they saw themselves there. We got merch, right? They got sweatshirts. And I'm like, why are we spending money? You're not even here yet. They're like, Mom, because we will be. Right? Because we will be. I was like, okay. Let me get this. Let me get this Spelman Mom t-shirt. Right? Let me go ahead and do that. So we must believe and know and call it into being through our commencement as communion with our higher power. So let me tell y'all, when Aria applied to Spelman for early decision, they deferred her, right? They told her to apply in regular admission. Now, Aria didn't say, oh, well, I guess it's not for me. Oh, well, my dream has crashed and burned. Oh, well, I guess I can't go to college. You know, we go to the extreme, don't we? One thing happens and we're like, oh, I guess it wasn't for me. Aria said, okay, let me see what they need from me. And she got what they needed. And she packaged it up the way they wanted it packaged up. And she took action. And she applied again during regular application process. Because what Aria knows, even if she doesn't know the languaging, she knows that a deferment is not a denial. Come on now, someone. It is not a denial. A deferment is not a no. It's just a not now. So think about the things in your life that you desire. It's your first choice. This is what I really, 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 really desire. And it doesn't come the way you think it's going to come because you think you're in charge and control of everything. Deferment is a shift. It's a sacred shift if you hold it as such. It's a shift that reminds us that we are in divine communion with the God within us, and that we have all of the resources that we need. And we get to be in the activity of it. We have to do our part. So when that regular application process opened up, Aria was ready. She had all the things. And I'm like, well, let me go over everything, make sure everything is right. She was like, Mommy, it's already done. I did it already. It's sent. I was like, right? But she did what she needed to do. She saw herself at Spelman College. She was wearing her Spelman sweatshirt that I got her when we went to visit the school. She was wearing that sweatshirt almost every day. And the day that she got the email that she was admitted, she had that Spelman sweatshirt on. Because she could see it and she could feel it and she knows it because she knows the law of mental equivalent. You have to see it, believe it, and build it within yourself. Expand your capacity to hold it, and it will come into fruition. Don't give up now. Don't give up now. So Aria's in that frequency. Everything that we desire has a frequency. And we have to align with that frequency. And we could use the power of our imagination as a spiritual practice to do so. Some of us are on the frequency of doubt and worry. And so what do we attract? Doubt and worry. Because the law works perfectly, perfectly. Because it is in mutual participation with your frequency. So we must recognize that a shift is just that, a shift. It is not a rejection. I tell y'all, unless she did it in private and I didn't see her, when she got that deferment, she didn't cry. She didn't pout. She wasn't like, why? Why they don't like me, Mommy? No, it was not that. She was just like, okay, let me see what they need. Let me see what they need. So it is not a rejection. A sacred shift is not about control, y'all. It is about alignment. Let me align myself with whatever it is they say they need. And I'm going to continue to wear my Spelman College sweatshirt because I imagine myself already there. And she didn't want to hear nothing. People would say to her, well, what's your second choice? She would be like, excuse me? I'm going to Spelman. I'm going to Spelman. And when she got that acceptance and we went to acceptance day last month, and we sat in that auditorium in the chapel actually, and we heard the director of admissions say these words. They got 11,000 applicants for 650 slots. We don't live in the law of percentages. We don't live in the law of averages. We live in the law of abundance. We live in the law of knowing that what is ours is ours. We're not playing a numbers game, y'all. So don't give up now. Don't give up now. It's not about having all of the answers. It's not about that. It's about trusting that the presence is always present, always present. And we get to allow that presence to lead the way by listening, by taking action. So sacred shifts serve as a loving integration, a communion. It allows us to move forward with everything that we need, all of the resources that we need in preparation to cross that next threshold. That deferment was just allowing her time for more preparation. And prepare she did. It's not a denial. It means that we don't have to wait until we feel ready either. There is something that we can do right now. I'm not a big proponent on being ready for anything. I'm a proponent for willingness to do what needs to be done. The willingness to be open, the willingness to receive, the willingness to give, the willingness to take action, the willingness to stay in the creative flow, the willingness to know that God got us. So we commence by consciously stepping forward. Step forward. And sometimes that stepping forward may be doing something again. But now we're stepping forward with more resources, with more information, with more knowledge, with more experience. We commence by walking in communion with God, the God within each one of us. Remember, we don't walk this path alone. We walk it in communion, and I am so grateful here at Rockland CSL. We also walk it in community. So I'm going to end by asking you these questions once again. What are you graduating from? Because I know if my girls are graduating, I'm graduating as well. And if I'm graduating as the spiritual leader here at Rockland CSL, that my community of love and joy is also graduating as well. So what thresholds are approaching in your life? What thresholds are approaching in your life? And what sacred shifts are you inviting or inviting you to go deeper in your communion with the divine? We go within. We linger there. We feel the presence. We imagine. We know the truth. No matter what, the presence is always present, and it's in mutual participation in our lives. So I want to share your love work, y'all. So it's an affirmation that I invite you to say for the next 30 days. And I'll write it in the chat. This shift, whatever the shift is, this shift is sacred. I walk with God. 2 sentences. This shift is sacred. I walk with God. Thank you, Roxanne. This shift is sacred. I walk with God. And so our universal principle is the law of mental equivalence, and our spiritual practice is imagination. So that is our love work, to build the mental equivalent using the spiritual resources of our imagination. Imagine yourself walking with the divine, with love, with joy, with peace. So let's anchor this with a spiritual mind treatment. So I invite you all just to pause here and go within. And this is the prayer that came forth, that there is only one life, one presence, one infinite power. It is the divine wisdom that flows through all things, unchanging, eternal, and always unfolding in perfect divine right order. This presence is not far off. It is near. It is here. It is within. It is the breath that I breathe, the ground that I stand on, and the voice that speaks in the stillness of my soul. I recognize that I am one with this divine presence. I am not separate from God, nor is any part of my journey outside of God's infinite embrace. Every step I take is guided by the intelligence that governs the stars and breathes through all creation. I am rooted in this oneness. I live as principle. And so today I bless the thresholds before me. I bless the thresholds before each and every one of us. I declare it sacred. I honor it with faith, not with fear. Whether it is an ending, a beginning, or the mystery in between, I know that this moment is holy. This change, this shift is not random. It's not an accident. It is divine. It is the movement of spirit expressing more fully through me and as me and for me. I bless all that comes. I bless all that came before, every chapter, every lesson, every gift, every heartbreak, every disappointment. I bless it all. I release what no longer serves me, and I do so with gratitude. I bless what is coming. I bless what is becoming. I bless what is being within me right here and right now. I bless it even before I understand it. I lean on God's word. I lean on God's understanding. I lean on the trust in my heart that God's got me. I listen deeply for the sound of the genuine within me. And I say yes to the call of my soul. Right where I am, spirit is. Right where you are, spirit is. And where spirit is, there is clarity, not confusion. God cannot be confused. There is peace. There is divine right action. So we cross this threshold now, not in haste, but in reverence, open, willing, and attuned to the guidance of God. Right where we are, God is. Right where we are, love is. Right where we are, the fullness of spirit expresses itself through and as us. As we commune in this sacred time together, we recognize that we are on holy ground, standing in the light of new beginnings and sacred shifts unfolding as divine wisdom within each and every one of us. The shift you feel is sacred. As you move forward, walk in communion with the divine, rooted in the principle and empowered by love. Go forth and live the blessing. Be the blessing. We stand at the threshold of the new, grounded in God and guided by divine wisdom. Every step I take is sacred. Every step you take is sacred. Every step my girls take is sacred. Every step we take as a community is sacred. So I give thanks. I give thanks for this sacred shift. I give thanks for the wholeness already unfolding. I give thanks for the doors that have closed. Yes. I give thanks for the thresholds that we are crossing. I give thanks for the wisdom that leads us and the love that carries us. I give thanks for it all. So repeat after me in this prayer. I honor the sacred shift unfolding in my life. Say it. I honor the sacred shifts unfolding in my life. Say it again. I honor the sacred shifts unfolding in my life. I cross this threshold with reverence. Say it. I cross this threshold with reverence, rooted in spirit and ready for the new. Say it. Rooted in spirit and ready for the new. I honor the sacred shift unfolding in your life. You cross this threshold with reverence, rooted in spirit and ready for that which is due. This is what we know. This is what we give thanks for in advance. For we know that it is already percolating, simmering, marinating within us. We could feel the sacred shifts and we give thanks for it. And so I release this. I release it fully and completely, holding on to none of it as if I have control of it. I release it fully and completely into the hands of the divine that I am in divine communion with. I release all of it, knowing that it is already done. And it shall be done again through me and as me. It shall be done again through you and as you. And so let us know this together by saying, and so it is. Amen.